I'm going to prepare this brand new painting palette. And it's very slick on the inside. And so I'm going to use a sponge. I've got two sponges here because I want to show you what I'm looking for. Now these are older sponges and they're not wet yet, but I'm going to get them wet to show you. This is not the sponge I want to use because the outside is just too rough and it would probably tear up the inside of this. I don't want to make grooves or indentions as I do this project. I want something softer. So I'm going to put this sponge aside and not use it. Now this sponge right here, it does have a scouring pad to it, and it is a little rough. So I'm going to be very careful and soft-handed as I do this project, and I'm going to see if it works. I've got my water here. I'm just going to soak my sponge, and I've got a towel. I'm going to get my towel. I've got a towel close by. In fact, I think I will put the towel underneath my painting palette to catch all the water. You could do this in the sink if you wanted to. I'm going to wring out the water, and the rough side is what I'm looking at. And so I'm going to take this smallest one just to see how it goes, and I'm just going to work. I'm going to take the corner and I'm going to work the corner into here, and I'm actually barely pushing down, not much pressure at all, and I'm working around as I turn my palette, and now I'm getting the middle and working it around, and I want to feel this and see if it's slick. This is very slick and plasticky, shiny feeling. This is a little bit buffed, and I'm happy with that. I'm going to tilt it to make sure I'm not making, by looking into the light, I'm going to make sure that I'm not putting in too deep of grooves. All I'm trying to do is knock off this slick surface and make it more kind of like, I would guess you would call it a matte type surface. I feel good about this. I don't feel any grooves or crevices. I think my pressure was good, and so now I'm going to do every single well. I'm not really worried about these. I'm worried about the mixing wells. So I'm going to go around and do 3, 6 mixing wells. And again, I'm not going to push very hard. I'm going to work into the corners. And I've got to tell myself not to push too hard. I can always do it twice instead of pushing too hard and scouring the bottom too much. Just trying to knock off that slick aspect of it. That way my paint will settle down and not just sit in beads. I don't want my paint to sit in beads on the surface. So now I'm going to try a little bit of water. Whoop, that's probably too much. Let me dump some of this water out. And I can tell, I'll dump all the water out, and I'll see if the water sits in beads. Like here, it's a bead. I don't know that you can pick it up on the video, but this is little beads of water. Whereas this, the water just sits flat. You can tell in here it's beaded up. So that's the goal. I'll just keep going until I get all of them done. Okay, now I'm done. I feel good about that. I'm going to get a little water and dribble it around and see if I have any beads anywhere. I feel like all the water sits flat and it doesn't bead up the surface. So I'm finished.